wanted to put together this presentation to cover pretty much the top 5 principles of sales that I have learned over the last years as I sell services. Services, it's a bit different to deliver and to sell because you don't have something tangible. And so it is with your words and the visual support that you may have, how you're actually going to connect with your prospect and actually push them to want to work with you. And what I'm going to share with you are things that I learned along the way that have actually allowed me to improve my conversion rate. That means that as I talk to more people, I actually get to close more people. Now, there are a lot of other factors that have to do with this, whether it is my personal brand, positioning, better targeting. And so that means that the people that I actually get to talk with are already more aligned and more within the framework of the person that I'm looking to help. But nevertheless, there are a lot of things that I actually take into consideration when I go out there and when I talk to a potential customer or when somebody comes to me. And I wanted to sort of put this into action in terms of listing what have been for me the most fundamental beliefs, or let's say principles in this case, that have allowed me to grow and succeed the business as we increase our sales. And I'm going to jump right into it because the first one is, and the most important one, is that you should never be afraid of losing the sale. Actually, every sale starts with a no, and it is through the process that you're going to turn that into a yes. But you should never be scared of not making the sale. Because when you are scared, you're actually increases the chances that you're not going to make the sale. In order to make the sale, you need to be willing to lose it. That is the only way that you're going to make the sale. And the thing is that if you're desperate, if you don't make the sale, your business is going to die tomorrow. What's going to happen is that you're going to be needy. You're going to give everything away as fast as you can in order to get that person to give you any cash. And actually, when you do those things, it's best that you don't even make the sale at all. And so you definitely want to make sales that make sense for your business and for the customer who's also buying the product, because that way you can actually serve them better. If you're eager to make that sale, well, what's happening is that you actually have other problems. And what you should focus on is trying to put yourself back into a long-term perspective. When you have a long-term perspective on your business and on the pipeline and on the flow, then your decisions that you're going to make are going to have a completely different influence in your business, because now you're doing long-term strategy. If you feel that you got to sell to the person in front of you, you got to take their money, what's going to happen is that you're going to develop a series of systems, mindsets, attitudes that are going to make you customize everything for that person. You're going to make very little money, and you actually are going to resent the business. You're going to resent the customer. And now every time you do something for them, you just feel like, oh, I'm not getting paid for this. So you don't want to go out of your way and over deliver. And therefore that person is not going to tell anybody else. Actually, chances are is that already, because you discounted the sale and you gave them so much, that they don't see you as an expert, and they don't value you to the level where they will be willing to recommend you to other people, because in their eyes, you're not an expert. You're somebody desperate, willing to do what it is that they want you to do. And so that's why this is principle number 1. It is extremely powerful, and make sure that from the start, you need to be willing to lose the sale. Don't go ahead and be afraid of it. Now, you don't want to think that, oh, this person is not going to buy. That's not what I'm saying here. That's different. What I'm saying here is that the moment you see this person doesn't qualify and you cannot help them unless you go out of your way and discount, then you shouldn't help them. You should be okay saying no to them. Next, we gotta understand, first we gotta understand, why do people buy? And the main reason why we're buying things and why we're trying to solve our problems is because we're trying to increase our status. What does that mean? Well, when you go to the store and you find a pair of shoes that you love, you put them on and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're picturing yourself how cool you're going to look when you walk down the street and your friends see you with this new pair of shoes. You are thinking in a way that increases your status. Now you're cooler than you used to be because now you have these shoes and they're new and there's the new thing. So you're hip and you're on top of the trends and so on. In businesses, it's the same thing. The people that we're going to buy products from, oh, we want to have the CRM from HubSpot or from Salesforce because these are the popular companies that everybody has. And so if we also have these CRMs from them, then that means that we are successful because those companies are successful. Everything that we buy is going to be influenced by our idea of increasing our status. And this is key to understand from our perspective as business owners, as we're making sales to people, because they are trying to increase their status. And so we need to make sure that we help them increase their status. At least we need to make sure their status is not decreased by doing business with us. The moment they feel that they're going to decrease their status by buying from us, we're going to have a challenging experience because that sale is going to be really hard to make. And so what's going to happen is that the person is going to analyze you and feel like, oh, am I wasting time working with this person? Is this going to take too long? Is there a faster way? Am I going to pay for this and not get the results and the outcome that I expect? And therefore, I'm going to look like an idiot. I'm going to feel bad because I made a stupid decision. I made a mistake. All these things are decreasing their status, and they're evaluating you based on those elements to see if you can actually help them. And so when you provide value, that means that instead of decreasing their status, you're actually increasing their status, and therefore they get value and they want to work with you. And so when you're too scared to lose the sale, you are needy. And when you're needy, what happens is that you are low status. And what that makes me do as a customer is that instead of surrounding myself with people that increase my status, I'm surrounding myself with people that decrease my status. And therefore, now I don't appreciate you. I don't value you. I don't see you as somebody I can learn from. If you want to make a win-win-win-win, you definitely, first thing is you can't be dropping your prices like crazy, because at the same time, then the customer is not going to be as committed and as dedicated to put in the effort required for them to have a successful experience and attain the results that they wanted. And so they're not going to be as responsible. They're not going to be, then you get demotivated, their experience goes down. And then because we sell to customers, to businesses, then their customers are also going to have a crappy experience. And so that's why when we charge properly and we're not afraid to lose the sale, that means we get selective and we start working with people that can afford us and that will be willing to put the effort in and will be willing to actually buy and think long term. Then we start having this chain reaction of win-win-win. And so principle number 2 is, how can I increase people's status? Identify what are things about your brand, things that you're projecting, things that you're communicating that you may not be aware of, and how are they decreasing the status of your customer? Turn those around. Make sure that you understand what it is important for your customer. Because it could be that for some customers, having a Ferrari is how they see the world and what they want to increase their status. But for some other people, that actually decreases their status. For them, what would make sense is just have a Toyota Prius. And so for different groups, it's going to be different things. Make sure that you understand what it is for your customer so that then you can deliver that through the experience, through your marketing, through your communication, through your sales process. So number 2. Now, everybody's going to want a good deal. Everybody's going to try to decrease your prices. Does that mean you need to drop your prices? No. Actually, the last thing that you want is give people discounts. What you want to do instead is increase the value of the offer by adding more elements. What kind of elements? I'm going to tell you later on principle number 4. But don't discount your prices. Instead, increase the value. People get addicted to discounts. I learned this from Gary Vaynerchuk. All right, so the next thing is that you got to understand, as we move to principle 3, that you operate within a market. And a market has a culture, has traditions. In different industries and different types of customers have defined processes on the way that they sell and buy services. There is a particular process to buying a car. There is a particular process to buying a house. There's a particular process to buying a CRM system, and so on and so on. And so you need to identify and learn very quickly what are the rules and the frameworks of your market, because they are training people, your customers, on how to buy products. And you want to make sure that you understand that so that then you can guide them and support them. Now, at the same time, what this means is that you get to create your offer. Even though you go to a market and there could be many people selling vegetables, they all have their own recipes and their own formulas for putting together their own formula. At one place, you may see that if you buy 2 jars of olives, then you get a recipe book. At the other place, it could be that you buy only 1 jar and then you get something else. And so you really get to create your offer. And I think this is really important, because when we're starting our business, the customer is going to demand things. And because it is really hard for us to identify or differentiate between a high quality customer and a bottom of the barrel customer, we're not going to see those differences, and we're going to believe that, okay, this is what the customer wants, so we need to deliver to them. We're a service and we cater, and we need to do exactly what it is that they want. And the reality is that no, you don't have to cater to that. You get to deliver your offer, because as you start adapting to each different customer, what's happening is that it's going to get really, really hard for you to start delivering on those things. And chances are is that very fast, you're going to start saying yes to things that you have no expertise, and therefore you cannot over deliver and wow your customers. And therefore you're not delivering a world-class experience, and they're not going to recommend you to other people. And so principle number 3 is that you get to create the offer. You can play around and restructure things to make it attractive for your particular target customer. And how should that rearrangement look like? Well, for that, we need to understand, when do people buy? We buy at many different stages, but there's one particular point where people are driven to buy new products and services. And that is whenever they reach an inflection point. Whether as an individual or as a business, we all reach inflection points in our lives. When you graduate from high school, when you start college. So you have an inflection point towards the end of high school, you have an inflection point as you're starting university. When you start your first job, when you buy your first car, when you get engaged, when you have a first kid, when you get married, when your business grows and passes a threshold that requires you to rearrange the structure of the business, that's an inflection point. When you see that your business is growing and now it's time to invest in your marketing, that's an inflection point. And so we're going to identify inflection points all over. And you need to understand what is the inflection point that your customer is in. And you can choose it strategically, which I recommend you based on your past experiences, and not on an inflection point that you don't know that much about. Now, obviously, it's going to be harder for you to target people who are about to get married if you've never been married. It's going to be really hard to connect and to create words that actually are resonating with that target customer, unless, obviously, you are a wedding planner. But guess what? The person who got married, chances are is that they are a better wedding planner than you, because they can connect emotionally with that moment. You can empathize all you want, but it's very different when you have gone through that experience. That's why in the program, we encourage you to look into your own experience and your own skills and your own journey to identify that inflection point. So figure out what it is for your customer. Now, there are three types of customers. We have the ones that know they have a problem and they know how to solve it. We have the ones that know they have a problem, but they don't know how to solve it. And we have the one that doesn't know they have a problem, so therefore they're not looking. You need to immediately forget about the last one. And in the beginning, we feel like we can serve everybody. No, if you're targeting people that don't even know they have a problem, you're going to invest a lot of resources to make them aware of the problem and then make them aware of the solution. And then after you do all that, chances are that they go and buy from somebody else. And so don't waste your time. What you want to do is you want to target the person who knows what they want and they know what they need to solve it. These are people that are doing research. They're finding ways on how they can actually solve their problem and have reached that point where there's no longer any more free information and they know what they need to do in order to solve their problem and continue moving forward. These are the people that you're looking for. So you identify the inflection point and now you know what kind of customers you're looking for. And now you are able to then deliver content and communicate in a way that is perceptive to them. So that means that the person across the screen or across the table from you should be in an inflection point and they know what they're looking for. Now, because they know what they're looking for, chances are is that they start making questions that make you feel that you need to adapt your offer to them. No, you don't. You're the expert, okay? So most likely, these are going to be first-time buyers. The person who's switching buyer, they are looking for a better deal. So if you have been using Zoom and you want to switch from Zoom, you want another service provider that is just simply cheaper. If you're looking for a new phone company, all you're doing is, okay, you know how to buy, you know what the service is, you just want a cheaper one. These tend to be the switching ones. Now, it's different when they're switching from fax machine to internet. Yeah, they're switching, but what that means is that they are actually first-time buyers because they never bought internet before. And that's exactly the position that you want to be in, because the first-time buyer doesn't know how to shop and they don't know how to evaluate your product. So they're going to do that research by themselves. And then when they feel prepared, they're going to come out to you. What you want to do, obviously, is set up the field for you by providing that information that allows them to learn so that they can evaluate choices by themselves. But obviously, who's giving them the information? You. So in their eyes, you're an expert and you have the authority to provide that information. So the moment they come to you, now you walk them through the process. And for that, I want to share a little bit of the equation value because you want to increase their status. People have a dream outcome. Yeah, they're at an inflection point. They know what they want to do. They did the research. They know what they want to achieve. So they know what they are looking for at this stage. That's why they came to you. Now, they're going to assess you if you can really deliver on that. That's why you want to deliver a lot of information in advance that teaches them so that they can see that you know the stuff. And therefore, with you, they're going to be able to achieve that. Now, what you want to make sure is that you're able to provide those results as fast as possible. The faster you can deliver results, the more valuable your service is going to be. You don't get to charge more because you extend it and make them do more things and you make them watch more videos. No, you get more value because actually you get them there faster. And lastly, it depends on how much effort they need to put in order to achieve that result. This is coming from Alex Hormozi value equation, where he explains that the difference between somebody going to the gym and getting liposuction, one is $200 a month, the other one is $40,000 or whatever it is that it costs. But one takes 2 days and then you have 3 weeks of recuperation and then you're good to go. And the other one takes maybe a whole year of ongoing sacrifice. And so the perception of value obviously is way higher from the other one, even though it takes less time, but then it's able to provide those results and it has higher level of achievement than the actual gym because you don't know if you're going to stick with it. So why do I say that? It's because when people come to you, you need to understand what is it that they want and what is it that they need. Everybody will come to you looking for something in particular, but there's something that they want. We live in an age where people buy products that they want, not that they need. We already virtually solve our needs. And so we are looking for something that would allow us to express ourselves, to take things a notch, something that we think we need, but is in reality a want. And what you should do is that in your negotiation, as you're restructuring your offer, the core thing is actually solving the thing that they need, because that's what they need to buy. But then you use the thing that they want as your negotiation tool to increase the value of your offer. Obviously, this is going to depend on your particular situation, but think about it. What is it? 90% of your customers want the same thing. That is the thing that they need. These other 10% that changes, that's the thing that they want. That's your negotiation tool. Think about what it would be for your customers. And when I use an example here, because let's imagine that you want to hike this mountain and you want to hire a guide. Now, you got two choices. You can go the long route that is easier and it will get you to the summit. And actually, it's more days, but you get to see a lot of things and so on. Or you can get the faster route. It's a bit more steep. It's more expensive, but actually you get there instead of 3 days, you get there in 4 hours. Which one would you like to take? Obviously, you want to get there faster. The whole point is you want to get to this, you need to get to the summit. You want to get there faster. You want that picture. You want to be able to actually get there. Now, the people are coming to you because you are the expert. You're the one who knows the trails. You're the one who knows the service. When you start asking them, what is it that you want and how you're looking for things, what you're doing is that you're transferring the thinking to them. They are not trained. They haven't done a logo before. They haven't cut somebody's hair before. They haven't hiked the mountain before. They haven't done the process before. You are the expert. That's why they came to you. And so often I see a lot of designers and creative people frustrated because the client doesn't know what they want and they constantly have to change. Yeah, because you haven't defined the things for them. You're the expert, and that's why they came to you. So principle number 4 is you're the expert, not the client. Define the framework. You get to create the offer by yourself. It's the same thing as the guide. When somebody goes to the guide, they don't make the route for each person like, oh, I like forest and I like, no, this is path A, this is path B. Which one do you want? Okay, these are the ones where I have expertise and I can guide you. I'm not customizing it for you. If you want to take a helicopter and go to the top, then that's another company. I'm not now going to figure out how to get a helicopter to get you to the top. And if they ask me for it, no, that's not what I do. Because yeah, it may look like more money right now on the short term, but in the long term, what's going to do is disrupt your whole business. Unless now you eliminate the hiking and you focus on the helicopter ride, because that's what everybody wants. You have bigger profit margins and then you focus on that one thing, but then you're pivoting. And that's a different thing, not just adding more services. So keep that in mind, okay? You're the expert, not the client. That's why they came to you. You have to figure out the path, guide the customer so that they fit into those paths and they have a great experience in the process. They don't know what they want, you do. And you know how to use the tools to provide them with that. So try to make sure that in advance, you filter out the customers that know what they want, they know what they're looking for, and will trust you so that whenever you provide it, they believe in it and they just take it and use it. And last but not least, principle number 5, and the second most important one, sales is all about helping the client help themselves. The people that are coming to you, they're coming to you because they have a problem that they're trying to solve. And it is your role not to persuade them into getting something that they don't want. It is your role as an expert, first identify if what they think they need is really going to help them. And then see if they are ready and they fit the needs that are required to succeed through your process so that you can deliver on those results. But you as the expert, somebody that has walked the path already, your role is really to help them help themselves. That's it. Is you helping them see the value and get motivated to actually do what it takes, because they're stepping into a new reality, a new version of themselves. This problem, they didn't solve it. They haven't gone through this journey before. This is something that is bothering them. It's a pain that they need to figure out. And in order to solve it, because they didn't have the problem before, otherwise they wouldn't be in front of you, they need to do new things. They need to venture into a world that they haven't ventured in before. They don't know how it's going to be. There's so many unknowns. There's so many different risks. And so they need to do something new. And it's hard because they don't know what is around the corner. And they actually are in need of an expert, of a guide that can guide them and can lead them to the success that they want. They can lead them through the process. And so that's why you're the expert and you need to guide them. And your role in sales, the biggest principle there next to don't be afraid to lose the sale, is see sales as a way of helping somebody help themselves. It's like coaching. And so that's it. That's you. It is your responsibility. You're the one who's actually going to help them. You're the one who has the power to decide if you can really help them or not, even though they may feel like it. You need to be strong and be an expert and really stand behind it, so that you can then work with people that you're happy to work with and you're excited to work with and will be profitable, so that you can actually run a business serving those clients. Because when you're fulfilled, when you're satisfied, when you're earning enough, then you are so eager to go out of your way to help people help themselves. And so, quick recap. Principle number 1, never be scared of losing the sale. Always increase people's status. You get to create the offer, not them. It's your business, it's your expertise. You're the one who can play around and use what they need and what they want as tools to shape it in a way that they will want to work with you. You're the expert. Don't expect them to know. Guide them through the process. If you didn't manage to help them figure out what it is that they want, because people have certain expectations, then you're not fully expert yet. You need to hone in on your process. And last but not least, sales is all about helping the clients help themselves. That's it for today's master class. Thank you